This is a first on the Swatch 150 channel, the first time to unbox and share with you a smartwatch, and what a particularly interesting watch we have to explore, especially the unboxing experience. Now, over the years, I've owned a few digital watches for trial and experimentation, but I've never really worn one on a daily basis. I tend to opt for the super simplicity of a Swatch or a Rolex with its timeless elegance, but this piqued my interest for a few reasons, notably these logos that we have on the box. This is the Bugatti Smartwatch that's made by Viita for Bugatti. It's the Ceramique Edition 1 full set, which means we've got a lot to go through. It's a wonderful presentation. We'll unbox it, go through that whole experience together, and then demonstrate how it works, what it feels like on the wrist, and talk more about it. This has kindly been provided by Viita for Bugatti for me to share with you today, but it starts with this shipping box. You've got the Bugatti logo on the top, you've got the EB, Ettore Bugatti logo on the side of it, and you know you're in for something quite exciting. And I often talk about watches in connection with the cars. It's one of my favorite things when these two worlds come together, and Bugatti is very much the pinnacle of automotive, the pinnacle of the automotive world. So you know it's going to be something special when you're greeted by that logo. So let's get started with this. And it's a bit of a pass the parcel experience. It's a box within a box within a box. You'll see where I'm going with that in a moment. But to open up the foam at the top, we then have a very snug fit for this box within. Let me see if I can get this out smoothly. I'm gonna have to pop that to the side because we're going to run out of space very, very quickly. We've got the Viita for Bugatti logo on the top of this box. Slide up the lid, wait for it, get that opened. We've then got the protective cloths just to pull back, which reveal a really nice presentation. As I said, you've got the leather top, you've got the stitching, you've got the Bugatti enamel badge, the Viita for Bugatti logo, but we'll pull that box out again, pop that over to the side, because obviously this is where we can then reveal the Bugatti smartwatch. The way it's presented, you've got lots of additional accessories inside this packaging. But before we even get to the watch, I've got to point out that Bugatti horseshoe grille that you have in the upper section, just like the grille that you find on the front of Bugatti models, like the Chiron, for example, with the Bugatti logo in place, with the stitching design, the diamond shape that you have behind. This is actually the storage area for the manual. We'll get to that in a moment as well. So let's pull out the watch, which again is a very snug fit. It's actually quite hard to get it out of the box. Done that quite smoothly. And you can see that we have a watch that I can tell you is very light, but also very simple in its style. It carries a timelessness through that. But perhaps the biggest thing for me is that it's so much smaller and lighter than other smartwatches that I've owned or trialed out. This actually has a few different elements that you can change. We have two different straps, we have three different bezels, which link to different Bugatti models, and we'll go through all of those in a moment. But the way it's set up out of the box at the moment is what's called the La Voiture Noire spec. If you don't know, La Voiture Noire is the most expensive new car to have ever been made at the time that it was introduced. It has been superseded since. All black, heavily dark tinted carbon fiber, all black details and elements, and that theme is very much carried through on the watch at the moment. So we have a titanium case, titanium bezel, we've got the sapphire glass for the display, it's currently switched off, and we also have the black titanium strap, which is super, super light. That's one of the things I really like about this. Now, the particular bezel at the moment has the Bugatti logo up top, the very simple 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 elements. A few other details to point out, the EB logos that you can spot in a number of places. On the clasp as well, the EB logo, the way you open it up is to press both of the poppers. It opens up in both directions. Very, very easy, very, very smooth. We've got two pushers, which are your controls for the smartwatch elements. You've got the charging elements on the back of it as well, through the charger that's provided inside the box. To turn it on, you press and hold on the button. It will wake itself up in just a second, get a little vibration out of it, the Bugatti emblem as it starts up, and almost instantly strains into action. Now, I've connected this already to my phone. I've been wearing it today to demonstrate. It's actually managed to stay on 100% charge, which I have to say is quite a nice and welcome surprise. Now, obviously smartwatches have different ways of waking up the screen and lots of settings that you can go through the Bugatti Smartwatches app on your mobile device to set up the watch. You have a ton of different faces, a ton of different settings, a ton of different things that you can change and that you can do with it. You can press the screen, wake it up, go through the different settings and displays, and we'll do more of this in just a moment. You can always revert back to the front. You can go through your different sports information, your step counter, it can tell you about your dehydration, your heartbeat, so many different interesting elements, I would say. Now, to pop it onto my wrist, got the Bugatti crest just on the inner side of the clasp. I've adjusted the strap already to make it comfortable for myself. It comes with all the tools in the box that you would need for that. This is where it surprises me in a very pleasant way, because it's nowhere nearly as chunky as some of the watches I've owned before. It's not as small as an Apple Watch, for example, but as other alternatives go, it feels like a very premium, high-end piece. It feels really very nice. Obviously the cold metal to the touch at the moment. As you pivot it towards you, it wakes up and illuminates the display, and that's where you have a number of different screens. You have a number of different displays that you can change, and you can set and choose which type of presentation you would like, which goes with some of those other accessories in the box. Now, talking of other accessories, it would normally have that little piece on the top. We've got a nice Bugatti wiping cloth with a sketch on it. We've then got the other elements that I'm going to just show you through. Pop that to the side. So if we open up the top section, pull forward the horseshoe grille, here we have our instruction guide. You've got the blue at the front, the red at the back, the Bugatti Ceramique Edition 1 with your instructions in a few languages, English, German, French. Very clear, well presented instructions, it has to be said. Quite unusually so. Really, really super clear. Even instructions in terms of adjusting the strap size. If you want to change the strap, it tells you about all of that, which I really quite appreciate, because often you don't get things that are so clear, to be honest. Sign of quality again. In the box, obviously, we've got the pillow cushion for the watch. It came with a couple of bits of protective film on the strap itself. We've also got, in this case, the silicone strap, which you can pull out. Let's see if I can do this. It's held in at the moment, kind of awkward and fiddly to do, because everything is really, like I've said a few times, super, super snug and well secure inside here. This is virtually impossible to get out. Let me see if I can manage it somehow. There we go. I've managed to pull it out. So the two halves of the silicone strap, which has this tire-like tread pattern and lots of different adjustment lengths, and the Bugatti logo around the fastener as well. So I think that's really very nice. Beneath that is the tool to actually take out the strap. Now, I'm not going to be able to get that out so easily without attacking it, but there is a tool inside the box to help you swap over the straps. On the other side, we have the guarantee card. Now, if I can twist this again, it's so hard to get things out of this box. They've packaged it so snugly, and I've made a complete mess of pushing that down. Let me see if I can do it. Here we go. Right, I've managed to escape the international warranty card. We've then got our adjustable bezels, which are presented themselves in a nice stitched leather pouch. Now, this is where we have the three different bezels, like I mentioned. So we've got the La Voiture Noire bezel in place at the moment. We then have the bezel with the blue details, which is actually the Divo. The Divo being the super limited, also very expensive, special few off Bugatti model, before we lastly have the sporty looking Chiron design, the Divo and Pur Sport design, which is presented with the slightly sportier look, I think you can say, given that the Pur Sport is the sportiest of the Bugatti models. To continue through our unboxing, we have the charging cable, which actually connects to the back of the watch. You have different adapters. You've got the USB-C or your regular USB. You connect it and sync it by plugging it directly with the USB-C into your phone to make the Bluetooth connection. Very easy to do, it has to be said. Continuing through, yes, it goes on, we have the tool for adjusting the links in the titanium strap. This has been super helpful. I've never actually done it myself on a watch. I've always gone to a shop, but having that, I couldn't believe how easy it made that process, and a few spare links are provided with it as well. So we have a few spare links for the strap itself. I feel like I've got a craving that I need to work out how to get this tool out. Maybe if I can try and use the guarantee card. No, it's fastened in far too securely. So we'll have to leave that be for the time being. But as you can see, that's a very, very, very well-equipped box. It comes with a whole host of different things, a whole series of things to, I guess, be part of the experience, to be part of all of that. And it just looks really, really nice. And I appreciate that. I always appreciate the level of detail, because I think it's half of the fun of buying such a thing, what it offers in that context. Now, to approach the watch again, to go through a little bit more about this and to talk about what you can do If you swipe up, you get your notifications, as you might expect from a smartwatch. It pops up, it gives you a little vibration, wakes up the screen, turn and look at it, and it will show you what's going on. So WhatsApp, Facebook, emails, all of the kind of things, all of the stuff that you want to see out of it. If we go further down, you've got the stopwatch, you've got GPS lap timing, so it can use the GPS that's built in to give you lap times if you're driving on a circuit or running or something like that. You've also got acceleration, which is quite fun. It can give you your quarter-mile acceleration times. At the moment, we've got no GPS because we're indoors. We've then got maps, we've got the alarm, the watch face that you can change, and a whole series of settings. But if we go into the watch face, this is quite fun because there are so many different styles. Our first style, you can actually tap again to change color as well of the second hand if you want that to stand out a bit more. The blue touch is always linked to Bugatti's history and the French racing blue. If you go sideways though, you get to go through these, and there are lots and lots of different styles. And you can obviously match these with the design that you have. You've got the digital style there, with the design that you have for the bezel, line it all up, choose what you'd like to have out of it, set that, and basically go with your heart's content. I think there's even more if you go the other way as well. The chronograph style reminds me of my Daytona, so I'm going to leave it on the original one to begin with. But as you can tell, there's a lot to it. Now, I've not used it for extensive periods, so I can't give you too much feedback. The app on the phone does actually monitor and give you lots of statistics around your sleep schedule, your step counter, your heart rate, everything else that this is tracking and monitoring while you're wearing it. But as a watch itself, and the initial feeling and the initial, I guess, thoughts that I have on it are that it's a very comfortable watch to wear. It feels good on the wrist. It looks smart, which I really like as well. And it's not too gigantic. That's always been a limitation for me with smartwatches, that if you want to have one with a good battery, you tend to have to go on the very large size. And having the ability to adjust and customize it is the icing on the cake. It gives you all of those extra elements that you might want to change, that you might want to play around with, and that ultimately give it a completely personal feel and give it that sense of, you know, unique ownership. And I think this is what you want from the Bugatti level of a smartwatch. It is the Bugatti Smartwatch. So I'd like to say a huge thanks to the team at Viita for Bugatti for providing this to share with you today. I hope you've enjoyed the video and unboxing experience of the Bugatti Smartwatch.